नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका फ्लैशबैक में। 1 नवंबर यानी ऐश्वर्या राय बच्चन की बर्थडे, उनकी सालगिरह। इस ओकेजन पे मैं आपके सामने पेश कर रहा हूँ 2003 के आखिर में मैंने एक इंटरव्यू लिया था टेलीविज़न, बीबीसी टेलीविज़न के लिए, जो कि एक स्पेशल एडिशन, स्पेशल पैकेज और प्रोग्राम की तरह ईयर एंड पे चला था। और ऐश्वर्या राय तो खैर, ऐश्वर्या राय बच्चन तो अपने आप में एक हस्ती हैं, भारत की सबसे मशहूर और सबसे खूबसूरत जो हीरोइंस रही हैं, उनमें से उनका नाम शुमार होता है। तो मैं आपको ये बताऊं कि बीबीसी में 2 ईयर एंडर इंटरव्यूज़, मतलब जो क्रिसमस और न्यू ईयर के बीच में आते थे, चलते थे, प्रसारित होते थे, वो 2 साल हमने लगातार ऐश्वर्या राय का किया था, क्योंकि इतनी डिमांड होती थी बीबीसी न्यूज़ रूम से, और वहाँ पे जो एडिटर्स थे, सब चाहते थे कि जो साल के आखिर में बीबीसी का जो पर्दा है, चैनल है, वो अगर खिले किसी से, तो ऐश्वर्या राय बच्चन से खिले। इतने लोग उनको पसंद करते थे, इतनी उनकी फ़ैन फॉलोइंग थी। 2003 एक ख़ास विशेष साल था, तो बहुत एक इम्पॉर्टेंट माइलस्टोन ईयर था ऐश्वर्या राय के लिए 2003, और उनके पर्सनल फ्रंट पे भी वो साल काफ़ी अहम था, काफ़ी खबरों में रही थी, कुछ कंट्रोवर्सी हुई थी। लेकिन देखिए आप इस इंटरव्यू में किस तरह से बहुत ही डिग्निफाइड तरह से और पॉइज के साथ उन्होंने उसके बारे में चर्चा की है। And that's the woman Aishwarya Rai Bachchan is for you. A lady with great dignity, poise, self-confidence, a self-made woman who has made a mark on her own. तो आज उनकी बर्थडे पे हम एक बार फिर उनको बर्थडे ग्रीटिंग्स देते हैं। हैप्पी बर्थडे टू यू ऐश्वर्या मैम, एंड प्लीज़ हैव अ ग्रेट लाइफ एंड अ ग्रेट ईयर अहेड। और उम्मीद करता हूँ दोस्तों आपको ये इंटरव्यू ज़रूर अच्छा लगेगा। प्लीज़ कमेंट बॉक्स पे जाइएगा, कमेंट कीजिएगा और हमारे चैनल को लाइक और सब्सक्राइब कीजिए अगर आपको हमारा कंटेंट अच्छा लगता है।
Hello and welcome to this special edition of Asia Today. I'm Sanjeev Srivastav in Coorg, Southern India. In this program, we bring to you an interview with one of India's most beautiful women, also one of most talented actress, Aishwarya Rai. Thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Now, this particular year, the year which is just closing by, 2003, you were on the International Films Jury at Cannes. You bagged a very prestigious role, I believe, with Meryl Streep, Gurinder Chadda's film. How do you see the year which has just gone by?
Extremely eventful for multiple reasons. It's been very, very interesting and wonderful. To begin with, I was working on 4 markedly different films in terms of the kind of characters that I chose. There was Choker Bali in Bengali, which was my first Bengali film, and it started in December last year, but it was like short schedules, like 10 days in December, Jan, Feb, by March we were done with the film. So it was really, really quick and at the same time really intense, and it's a wonderful feeling to, within this year, having actually seen how the film has been received. It was very gratifying to see that it's been appreciated here as well as at the festivals, overseas, critics, and it's a good feeling considering there was hard work, a first endeavor in a language I'm not familiar with, and a new experience all in all, and an absolute pleasure, and it translates in the work I've done, I guess, in the film.
So when you talk about your films and your roles, I still remember quite clearly. You started off as a model, you were Miss World, and everybody thought that, well, this is one very pretty face, but may not be so good when it comes to facing the camera. And your first few films actually confirmed those thoughts that maybe you're not so good, but you're really mature.
I tell you, that's this. I think everybody in any walk of life or any professional choice that they make, obviously there's not, it's experience that always counts, and with experience what you learn, especially for someone like me who came from no formal training, no schooling, no education, no training in this arena, in this field. It obviously meant learning on hand, not even genetics. So I mean, I had to literally learn on hand while I was there. So experience counts, and the learning and the growing continues, and I've always said this. And the other thing which I always maintained, which was so encouraging, is sometimes, and I'm not saying any kind of defense, but I've always reiterated, people are very quick to judge potential of a person, be it an artist, filmmaker, technician, depending upon the apparent box office success, which I don't think is the defining factor of potential or ability at all. And a big boost in confidence was the kind of response I was getting from within the industry in terms of the kind of work I was getting. Now, while you see films released at different points in time, as you know very well, at least earlier on, we used to work on a couple of films at the same time. So you've got Aab Laut Chale and Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam that I'm shooting at the same time, while in Aab Laut Chale people thought she was okay. In Hum Dil they thought, wow, she really could act. But the point is, the role and the film also offered that kind of opportunity for me to explore a character and essay her accordingly. And so there are a lot of factors that eventually give you the chance to discover the actor even in you, the artist in you, and of course experience. There's nothing like experience.
Which movie you mentioned, Dil De Chuke Sanam? I remember Tal, which I particularly really liked your role in the way you played it, and then Devdas. Which particular film, I know it's a little unfair, but satisfied you the most, or which do you think was the turning point in terms of your growth as an actor?
That's impossible to point out, because what was interesting was, theoretically, Iruvar was my first film with Mani Ratnam, fabulous director, and it was a wonderful experience. And for a long time, in fact, a lot of critics actually turned around and said, "Now that was one of the finest," which was
I missed out on
which
that
was so
one.
interesting, because that was really, I was probably at my naivest best, because that was my first film, completely alien to films, to acting, and again it was in a new language, so that was also a challenge to actually be essaying characters. There were two characters in the film, and I just went with the flow with the team, which in itself was a fabulous experience. So there were different reasons whereby people actually appreciate performances. Sometimes it's the film for what it is, sometimes the role, sometimes it's also influenced by a success ratio, but it's interesting. And I thank God it's been nice so far. It's been interesting.
Also, in some ways, at least you were familiar with the camera.
Yeah.
Because you had done modeling, and then you were a trained dancer. So one of the prerequisites of Indian cinema is those dance and song sequences. So two areas you
I was
cannot say you were new.
comfortable. I was very comfortable as far as the song and dance goes. But of course, even that too. I mean, what I think first began was the fact that I enjoyed dancing, and that's what really
That
showed.
came through quite well, actually. In
But
some
that
of the
apart,
films.
you start getting again familiar with the film dancing, with experience. It's always experience in every area.
Tell me one thing which I have personally always thought about. Does having such a nice face, such a pretty face, actually, does it sometimes hamper you while emoting different characters, or is it always an asset which most outsiders would feel?
I think this you'll have to ask the people in terms of my directors or my audience, really. Initially, when I came in, I guess sometimes people were uncertain in terms of de-glamorizing always meant different, in terms of if that meant, and then even in my complete de-glamorized, sometimes they'd be telling me that, nah, I mean, okay, now you don't even have makeup, but then what is it? We still need you to. So it's been, it's really, I think, up to the director and the audience to be able to explain whether it's a plus or a minus. But when I first came in, I think it was just people were just quick to judge because of the title factor and because of the fact that I'd been a model. There was already a preconceived idea, like you yourself said, whether one could or one couldn't. And that itself was probably the one big hurdle that everybody, not just me, but even probably the director in his or her mind, the audience in their minds, the critics in their minds had to overcome. First that hurdle before they could actually, once that veil was set aside, that's when I guess people would really see what one could do or deliver, or what roles one could perceive me in. And I have been quite fortunate to get quite a varied number of
range
roles.
of roles, as well as pretty good directors actually.
Yes, yes.
Some
That's
of the
what
best names.
that's why I said from the beginning that in itself was encouraging. I mean, they wouldn't have taken me on in their films if they thought I didn't have it in me. So that was encouraging as opposed to seeing the box office result of your first film, you know.
What is it that makes you decide for a film? You know, okay, so you must be getting a number of scripts. There have been these talks about you know, not doing a few films because of maybe differences on fees or the right banner. But what is it from your point of view which makes you decide, okay, yes, I'll do this movie?
Well, initially, obviously, it is a combination of the role, of the film as a whole, and the director. I mean, that's really primary for me to evoke interest also, or express interest in a film, because that's what I'm really going to be doing, that's who I'm going to be working with, that's the character I'm going to be essaying, and that's the film I'm going to be a part of. So that's the first thing that would probably, I guess, pick my interest and get me inclined or interested for us to really get into discussions about going ahead. And another huge deciding factor very often over my span here has been time. Very often I've not been able to be a part of films, certain films, purely because of time and scheduling. I mean, I am not so selfish in terms of
that you will sign and
that I
then
just
maybe
sign on a film and
commit
then just
yourself.
keep everyone hanging around. I mean, I have sometimes let go of films that I have been interested in essaying the characters of, but if time has been would make it an unfair experience, then I have opted out, and that's happened very often.
You've spent a few years now, and you know, some really big hits and established #1 amongst the lady actors, if I may. But so when you actually go in and think, okay, I'll do this movie, is it more like what will creatively satisfy you, or the box office response it will get, or is it?
Box office response is something that we can't decide, and that's been, I think, quite evident in the kind of choices I've made. Yes, I have been. If you judge and perceive banners, then yes, I have done a couple of top banners, and I have done a couple of regular
Really new
people, and so that's not really been it, because that's really not in our hands to decide. You can, you know, but it's really about, like I said, my reasons as I just expressed.
Is it also because a lot of people credit you with a lot of intelligence as well, that you think you have decided, okay, I should also be the best commercial bet available, as well as really make my mark as an actor? So you're kind of mixing
Well, there
both.
isn't that much kind of, I mean, I'm not trying to live up to a perception, or, I mean, I think I'm a professional, so you'd work the way you'd want to give the best to what you've taken on, and that's whether that be, like I've always maintained, it's rather schoolish actually, my approach. Whatever I take on, I'd like to give my best to, and with time also be able to make that difference. In terms of, say, to cite an example, when I chose to do Choker Bali, which was straight after Devdas, now if it was about being just the best commercial bet, then that was high risk, because suddenly after a huge commercial success, what has been traditional for a long time in the industry is when a person has a super
is
hit,
to plan for
then
a bigger,
you go around
bigger hit.
either to look for the next big commercial thing happening, or you cash in on that commercial success. You know, that's really been quite a trend over the years. So when I first made the decision to actually be a part of Choker Bali, it almost raised quite a few eyebrows, and they're like, now why would she do this? You know, she's not even really capitalizing herself on the kind of commercial success. We don't know how commercially successful a regional film would be. So in theory, she's not even really, not anybody else. I mean, nobody's really capitalizing on the commercial success enjoyed in Devdas. But it was a decision because I wanted to, apart from the fact that yes, I was very inspired, apart from the fact that I was happy to get the perfect combination of a Tagore story, of a director like Ritu, a character like Binodini, and having another first in terms of my first Bengali film, I also wanted to be able to give to a regional film the chance to be perceived nationally.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that felt good. And I am glad that that was what happened. that I could actually bring that to a wider audience. It did evoke interest all over the country, apart from the region it belongs to. A classic has been rediscovered. And you know, even in the festival circuit, I mean, the film has been appreciated. So as an actress, you're satisfied. As a professional, you feel good about being able to make a difference and being able to give to as much as what I've received from cinema. I'd like to be able to give to it and contribute to it apart from as an artist, apart from creatively, even call this commercially, call this as industrially, whatever it be. And if that could happen, it felt good, and I actually saw that happen, so it felt good.
And as an actress, again, how do you see yourself going from here? Have you become totally spontaneous with the work you do, or is it still a lot of hard work and method acting?
No, it's never been purely, I mean, method. I can't define it myself. Actually, it's just innate. I just put it that way because, like I said, I've never learned any technique or method to it. It's really been about, you know, the most probably the characters that have been most appreciated for, and people would think, God, she must have gone through such a rigorous, you know, whatever drill to kind of arrive at this kind of character. Actually, the better essay they are, the easier my job has been. So frankly, doing Nandini in Hamdil, or Mansi in Tal, or Shirley in Josh, or Kandakonde in Devdas, you know,
All
Binodini,
very nice
all the ones that actually got maximum appreciation have been the easiest for me in terms of performance. They've really been easy because of factors that are connected with the character. Once I understand what I'm supposed to be doing, there's very little, actually it isn't in terms of arriving at what I'm supposed to do. I don't have to really work out that. It's not that much of an effort to work out the character. It comes easily to me. But the hard work that we keep mentioning is what you see, is the kind of
scheduling,
the kind of lives that we lead. I mean, it's really hard work, and the more you start enjoying your work, and the more involved that you get, the lesser time that you get for yourself, you have for yourself, because then you start getting more involved in discussions, you start sitting after work, you start arriving before work, in between breaks, you're constantly involved in the entire process of making of the film. And that's why I guess we get lesser and lesser time on hand, and that's the hard work that we keep referring to.
And what are the kind of roles which okay, if I'm sitting in your place, I would think, okay, these are the few roles I would really love to do. Is there something like that which comes to your mind?
I have never defined it, and I've said this in every interview, because the day that you do that, that will probably be your next film.
Maybe some historical or
someone make, that's it. If I actually say that, then that will be made, and then it's like your ambition is done. So I've never really, and even personally, I've never really thought that this is, you know, once this is done, my dream will be fulfilled. There are several roles. I would like to do several characters, be them historical, be them regular, a film like this. I mean, it's just characters, it's life. I like people. And I think through our, it's interesting that we get to discover life through what we do, as well as discover very often different facets to ourselves, which is really interesting. It's an interesting job.
How does it feel actually to also being on the verge of becoming India's first real crossover star? You know, you've landed one role. Of course, we heard so much about this Bond girl thing, and that actually didn't happen.
No, because the point is that supposedly some interim people, even I didn't meet them, they came in when I met with my accident. So I haven't met them, and I guess because the media was obviously on call, the moment my accident happened, everybody knew you know, who was there. My mother just arrived, my secretary had arrived with these people, why were they there? So bang, it was in the papers before it was out of the hospital. So I guess it was just really blown out of proportion.
So what is this movie which you are going to do with Meryl Streep?
Well, it's with the French director Queen Suru, and it's going to be with her. Well, for now they have titled it Chaos, and well, at this point it's just coming together. The project is coming together, and it'll start at a later stage next year. But well, the announcement was out already.
Anything else which you are planning? Because you also have a very good agent. I don't remember his name offhand.
Yes, I'm with William Morris, the agency. There's Nicole and Hilda there, and my manager Simone. But yeah, they understand where I'm coming from and the kind of work I'd be looking to do. The whole idea is really like, some people keep saying that, oh, so are you going to Hollywood? Are you leaving? It's not leaving. I mean, it's, when I came in, I did a Tamil film. I've done Hindi films. Recently I've done a Bengali film. I've just completed Bride and Prejudice with Gurinder. So it's just about really being a part of cinema and getting the opportunity to explore. You know, when it's in a different language, you actually adopt a different style, a different body language, a different way of rendering and essaying characters. There are different subtleties or exaggerations in acting. And for me as a study, it's interesting to discover that. And these opportunities, by God's grace, have come to me. I had not sought it. If they've come, the reason that I'm exploring it is because if it means that this can actually, it's already happened before. I mean, I'm really not the first. There's Nasir and a lot of seniors who have worked internationally. But I feel if I can contribute to that movement, and if it means it's going to help bridge the gap, and it means putting the Indian woman on the international
Well, you
pulpit,
were there on the cover of Time.
it feels good.
So
it feels good
must
to be
definitely
able to.
feeling very good about that.
Yeah, it
well,
feels good if I can, like I said, contribute to the movement of putting the Indian internationally. That's really the reason that I'm exploring this, because at the end of the day, the easiest thing to say is, if you've achieved it all here, then you can just enjoy the success. Going out there and starting over is hard work. It means you're actually again going to re-establish international faith in you as an actor. You have to, since I've achieved a certain position amongst my people, it doesn't mean that I can just accept any kind of role there. It means I have to reinstate that faith that my people, Indians all over the world, have you know, in me. So that on that basis I choose my roles internationally. And then at the same time, let's face it, it is the beginning there. So after achieving here what you do, instead of sitting back and just enjoying it, I'm going out there to really work hard and start over. So it is hard work, it isn't easy. And to be willing to do that, I thank God for the strength to be willing to actually put forth that hard work and start over.
I'm sure Bride and Prejudice should help you take a few further steps in that direction, because Gurinder Chadda is now a big name with Ben.
And she's a wonderful director and a wonderful person, and we've already spoken about the next assignment together, and we've had a wonderful experience. So it's good.
So when is that film out?
The film's, well, she'll be ready like in Feb, I think, with the post-production. She's buzzing and she's almost done. But they're looking, I think, with Miramax is looking at around next September for their international release, because they look at that as the right time.
Aishwarya Rai, the actress, the public face, is like every woman's dream. You know, everybody would like to be, okay, so this dream life. But her personal life hasn't been that Cinderella-like in some ways, because last year was bad.
I think life has been real. Let me just put it that way, because that's been my approach to life anyways. Whatever people, however they perceive it, whether it be, it's like you're saying Cinderella-like, yeah, well, and it seems a fairy tale. The opportunities have come even professionally, but it's been hard work all through. So whenever something comes to you, you give to it in all sincerity, and that's been my theory. And life sets its pace, and you've just got to have inherent faith in God. That's what I do. I just have absolute faith in God, and He has His own unique way of being just and fair in life, and just setting things right. And that apart, I think life has all its experiences, and if I'm living it, I am experiencing it, and you grow and flow with it. That's
but you're clearly over the kind of bad phase in your personal life.
Good, bad, ugly is perception. Like I said, you just, I look at every experience in life as either karmic or an experience to learn from, and it strengthens you, and it's like people would say really kind things, and your well-wishers, and that really reinstates faith when they say things like, well, to extract gold, it has to really go through that kind of a gruel and burning, or to get the best diamond, it has to have that many, faces cut in them. So you have to go through it all to kind of really come out tops. So that's okay.
Do you have no regrets? Something you might have done differently?
No, you I wouldn't you just learn from life.
And Aishwarya, if I may, what's next coming on your personal life? Because we keep hearing that you are into a relationship which is very strong and which
You'll
is
keep hearing all kinds of things you'll hear, but if ever I need announcements to be made, they will be made because you and I keep interacting anyways.
Thank you very much, Aishwarya Rai, for speaking to us, and all the very best to you, not only for greater heights, though not many remain in the Indian film industry, but may God bless you, but
Thank you.
even on the international stage, may you achieve much greater heights. Thank you very much again.
Absolutely.
And a very
Sure.
happy new year to you.
To you too, and to all the viewers. Thank you.
That's all from this special edition of Asia Today. From me, Sanjeev Srivastav in Coorg, Southern India. That's all for now.
So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this interview with Aishwarya Rai Bachchan. It was a 2003 interview recorded in Coorg and telecast on BBC World between Christmas and New Year of 2003, early 2004. तो प्लीज़ एक बार पुनः आपसे अनुरोध कि अगर आपको हमारा कंटेंट अच्छा लग रहा है, चैनल पसंद आ रहा है, तो प्लीज़ हमारे चैनल को लाइक और सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, कंटेंट को शेयर कीजिए. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर वॉचिंग. नमस्कार.